Hi Scorpio, how's it going? We're here with a timeless reading. The first card that we have out is King of Wands, and we also have Nine of Cups. This can be a dream that you are moving towards. It can be something that you want that you're moving towards. In order to move in the direction of something that you want, it feels like action is needed on your end. King of Wands is us when something is needed as far as an initiation, and Nine of Cups is going to be driven by what you want. I feel like there's a joy, a confidence, a happiness within this of recognizing yourself as being capable of accomplishing what you want to accomplish, and this feels more about an internal drive that you experience than anything. Like this is something that you're going in the direction of that feels very heart-led. What this can mean too is that where you can be right now is taking action in a way that aligns with what you want. So doing things for reasons connected with what brings you joy or what you're interested in, what you feel inspired by, and that being what's motivating you. I'm also seeing the Three of Cups, so I definitely say something is coming together here. This can even be uniting you with what you want. Oh, Three of Cups and Justice. So, if we have King of Wands and something other than Nine of Cups feels like what is motivating your decision making and what is motivating you to take action. Because of having the Nine of Cups here, this is you saying like, this is what my heart wants, and so this is what I'm taking action based off of, and it comes from a place of love within you. It comes from a place of connection within you. I'm seeing Three of Cups and I'm seeing Justice, and so I'd say that there can be a reconciling that's happening here. I can say something is coming together, something being made right. So this can be efforts that you're making to bring something together in a way where you feel like that's how it belongs. This is what you want, and this is what you're going to do. Or this is what you want, and this is what you did. There can be some peacemaking that's involved in this as well with Justice. Wow, this is amazing to see because so having Justice is going to speak about a great relationship that you have, okay? But it's going to start with your relationship with yourself. And it speaks about these pieces of yourself that they're working together and they're collaborating. We have King of Wands and we have Queen of Cups. This means that you are taking action in a way that's congruent with what you are feeling within your heart when your heart is open. And that instead of being like, I'm going to take action like this, but then neglecting something emotionally or doing it based off of fear, this shows that there's a sense of composure here with these energies. And so it shows that your heart is in a place and that your action is reflective of what you're feeling, and feeling from a place of recognizing what feels right within you. Sorry guys. What feels right within you. And so this part of you that's like, emotionally, this is what feels right. Emotionally, I feel in harmony with this. It shows that your action is reflective of that within you, which it's not always easy to do that. because we can make choices and be like, this is maybe the easier thing, or I'm feeling fear driven right now, and then you feel out of touch with things within your life. This is about making those choices from a place of joy, from a place of love, from a place of idealism, from a place of your heart being open and saying, I want this to be part of things, and so I'm making that choice from there. This is what I want to be involved in my life, and so I'm making the choice from there. And so it really shows that a great relationship that you're developing between these parts of yourself. And this can also be something that you see reflected within a relationship that you have too. And that when you take action on behalf of that part of yourself, you see naturally this is happening in your relationship as well. And I feel like this is a very powerful thing that's being recognized. That when you're allowing love and your intuition to drive you from a place of you being open-hearted, and you are really like seizing the opportunity and taking action, it feels very much like it's cultivating what you want. And you're seeing too that you're capable of doing this. You're capable of doing these things and then accomplishing what you're trying to accomplish. And that feels good. It feels empowering. So this feels like a moment where you really see the influence that you have when you wield it. Like, well, I mean, you have influence regardless. So I think, one, it's about recognizing that, and then also seeing when you really apply yourself that you can cultivate these things that you want, that is an option for you. Because I think sometimes before we get to that point, it's like we can give up or we can do this or that sort of dismisses these things that we want to be part of our process. And looking at this feels like you're following your heart, you're following your dreams, you're following what you want. You're saying like, this is possible. I want things to be like this. Taking action and then seeing that that's really what ends up unfolding. So seeing the power that you have to create these things that you want, to have these dynamics that you want, and that things can really be good. Driven by a desire for things to be reconciled. And I think really taking action, really initiating that. If that's what you want, you're doing it. And you see things fall into place. And a new chapter beginning because of that too. And this is something that you want. I'm seeing like a tiff that you could have been having with somebody here, some type of issue. I think too that this comes from a place within yourself, things about what's right, what's wrong, relationship things could have been part of this. Maybe feeling like closed off or feeling there can be something about having to work through defenses, having to work through choosing our ideals versus choosing to keep ourselves safe and protect ourselves, where we're really blocking what we actually want. And this feels like you kind of overrode that. I think your heart is overriding your ego here. So now after there being, I think some like problem, some issue that's being worked out, this feels like learning how to set things right again. Regardless of how things kind of got disheveled or whatever, this feels like you're learning how to cultivate that relationship with these aspects of yourself. You're learning how to cultivate the relationship with this other person. For those of you that you're involved with another person, like you're figuring out how to do the relationship stuff. And seeing that you're a very big piece within this, and that your action really does have an effect. There could have been a part of you that may still sort of be there that can feel a little bit ego driven at times, as that's something that all of us can experience, and this can be a part of you that maybe feels a little bit concerned. I think feeling maybe protective over yourself emotionally. I feel like whatever happened in this instance, I feel like you really connected within your heart and that you took action based off of that. After everything's said and done, there can be a piece of you that still may feel like you're learning and you're understanding how these things work. This can be maybe you're seeing about another person's defenses or where they sort of shut down. This can be you seeing where that happens within your own energy as well. And then how to make it all come back together so things are harmonious once again. You're learning how to take situations when it feels like the scales are imbalanced, and you're learning how to balance them by actively working through this presently. And so there can be a part of you that maybe you're like, well, what's going to happen and where are things going to go, and what if something happens that I don't want to happen? I see there being a concern, and I think at the same time you're like learning about your worries, you're learning about your fears. You can also be learning about the other person's worries and fears too. And it feels like by being open to learning, rather than just being like, I'm scared and then reacting from that place, or seeing that within another person and then not going deeper, this feels like inspecting. You're actively taking a closer look at things, and it feels like taking the power of fear away from that, and that you're learning how to work within these situations that can really bring up some triggering stuff. And at the same time, you see that you're able to bring back the balance. You're able to harmonize once again, both within yourself and also with this other person, and that this is a very valuable lesson that you're learning. And I'm seeing this also is leading to a new chapter. And even though because of what happened, there can still be some stuff that's remaining with you, the work is going to be undressing those things so they can be addressed. And I think too that this will give you more confidence as well moving forward, because you can look at things and say, like, when things go a little bit sideways, I know how to correct them, I know how to bring it back. And you're learning better and better how to do that. So that means that when those things happen, it ends up being easier to tackle. You just get more and more familiar. It's like when you have certain things that pop up, the first time you deal with it, you can be like, how am I supposed to deal with this, and figure it out. But you stick with it and it ends up getting resolved. And then something similar presents itself again and you have a better idea of how to do it. This just feels like getting better and better and better at doing this and getting things back on track. And that harmony is gained once again, that things are balanced once again and they can move forward. And you're figuring out how things come together, how things fall apart, how to bring things back together. And it feels to like, this is you really following your ideals here. This is you really following your heart here and being in touch with that part of yourself. And I think in a way, almost like becoming a leader in your own right, recognizing the power and authority that you have within this, and also what you're in tune with and what you can pick up on and how that can help inform you taking action. And so even though we're ending with the Nine of Swords, which can be like, well, what's going to happen? Or like, what if things go haywire down the road? I feel like regardless of what's going to happen, you're getting so good at this part of the process that like, let something like that happen and you're going to know how to correct it again. So it's not going to be anything that obliterates this. It just feels like you know how to get things back on track, and that feeling like it gives you confidence later on to be like, it's okay, like something happens, sometimes things go wrong, sometimes things get kind of chaotic. I know how to bring it back. And that feeling good. And I think that there's some interpersonal stuff as well that you're learning too about like triggers and whatnot, and what that looks like, and what can kind of veer us away from what we really want, and what it looks like when the heart sort of shuts down a bit, and then how to allow things to come back together and what moves to make in order to do that, in order to accomplish that. And I think that this is about working too with those parts of yourself, the one that intuitively and emotionally is, and psychologically, psychically even, is reading into what's going on and then taking action, where it's kind of like The part of you that's the Queen of Cups, you're sensing things, and that gives you the information that you need to take action, and then taking that action. And that there's a lot of learning that's going on too throughout this. And you can feel too, like, this has you feeling better with your relationship with yourself, and it can also have you feeling better with your relationship with this person too. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.